Hello everyone, and welcome to the video. And in this video, I'll be discussing about Rachel Messer on her topic of Suzy Lu. So I want to give a big thank you to Rachel talking about the video. I think it's a very important topic to be talking about because it has a very big precedence on this platform, and it could affect any creator really on almost anything. Even if it's just anime, copyright is a huge bubble that not only encapsulates anime, but encapsulates video games and movies. And if an anime company sets a precedence on YouTube, it could end up affecting the whole platform in multiple ways. So definitely wanted to give a big thank you to Rachel. Also want to apologize if the audio is a little off. My roommate's watching a movie and there's nothing I can do, and he's just gonna... I asked him to lower it down a little bit, but yeah. So, also wanted to get into talking about Rachel's video and wanted to give her some constructive criticism because she said she was open to it. And, her video was great overall. I do want to give a little bit, goods and a little bit of things that she can work on. I didn't think there was anything necessarily bad, but I did think there were things that she could improve a little bit better that I just want to let her know. And honestly, I am not a computer whiz myself, but I noticed things I'm like, okay, that could definitely have been better. Okay, I see what you were going with there. And things like that that can help her make a better video for next time. So, alright, so I'm going to go over the positives first. Rachel really did a great job with her video. She knocked it out of the park. Minus, though, obviously, the length, which I'll go into the negatives, because that's going to save for the negatives. But overall, I think you really knocked it out of the park, Rachel. I think you addressed every point that you need to do really well. You talked about what copyright is. You talked about what the Suzy Lu situation is. You also included the whole allegedly, and I think that was important because you just didn't want to say anything that could have been misconstrued or misunderstood. I think also the whole disclaimer thing was also very important. And that also is important here too. Disclaimer, guys, don't bully, harass anyone that's talked about in this video. Don't bully, harass anyone, period. Just don't do it. It's not a good thing. And I appreciate how you laid down the law and you're like, I don't tolerate it here. I was like, way to go with that, because we don't need that on this platform. That is not a thing we need on YouTube at all. And pretty much that's most of my positive. I thought you really did a great job explaining all of the parts and breaking it down into your subsections. So, the negatives aspect. Yeah, your length was over an hour, and it was really, really long. And I'll say this. I watched it because you had a very important voice to say. You are a voice actor in the community. And I think that is what made me stay on for that hour. So that is a good thing. So that kind of negated the length a little bit. That being said, you could have summarized your points up a little briefer. I understand that you wanted to go in depth on every little thing, but in this case, you might have just benefited a little bit by cutting down some of your speech. I think you repeated the Rice Gum PewDiePie thing twice, which I understood what you used that for. You said, oh, just because if everybody does this doesn't mean that it's necessarily legal, which, yes, that's a great analogy example, but I don't necessarily think you needed to include that clip. Personally, I think you could have just left it out and just be like, look, if you all, like you said before, if everybody robs a bank, that doesn't mean it's acceptable. You could have just done that example. That probably would have been an easier one. I know you wanted to do that one because it was probably an easier one to talk about because it was fresh in people's minds. It's probably pretty recent. But I think if you wanted to talk about it, you could have just probably clipped that part out because it wasn't 100% necessary. Yes, I did notice the audio jump. I think it was at the 38-minute mark. I didn't get too badly, and I have some ear issues, so... and speaking from someone who has an ear problem, I didn't have too much bad on the ear issue. Someone did complain about your jump cuts. Listen, I use jump cuts in my stuff. I don't really care. I don't exactly look at my camera's fuzzy. This is the best I have to work with. And I totally respect that you worked with the equipment that you worked with. And, you know, that's something that you can't control. And I definitely understand why it took you so long to do it. But I think that one of the problems, the reason why it took you so long in editing, was because you just had so much you had to talk about. Which, you know, good and the good, but also, like, just like, hey, this is the topic that I'm talking about. This is Suzy Lu's situation. This is what she's doing. Other channels are doing it like this. Show it like that. I can understand you had the brief timeline thingy, the 5 points that you wanted to do, but I think that you probably might have not come up with the script. I know even this video I'm doing right now, I'm actually didn't make a script. I just kind of like plotted it in my head and I just went for it, which is fine, but sometimes if you have like a lot to say, if you need to write it down, that's good if you need to. Or if you do plot in your head, be like, okay, how can I say this effectively without dragging on and talking about the issue? You definitely showed your personality well, I'll give you that. That was a huge plus in your video. I really like that, what you did. And another con that I'm sure you're well aware of is Suzy I had a hard time saying this, but she hasn't edited her clips. She's lying. Okay? I know you want to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I totally agree with that. And look, I don't want bad things necessarily happen to her either. I just want her to change her ways and leave people alone. I don't want her to attack people. I don't want people to attack her either, but I don't want her to think that she's on this high ground where she can attack people and that she's not attacking people when she is. She can't do that. And if Suzy's listening, it's like, stop it. Like, girl, stop doing it. Please. Like, for all of us sakes. Like, just stop. And I just don't want to see this whole internet war be started because she thinks that she can just do what she wants to do and no one's going to call her out on it. And look, Suzy Lu, if you're watching this, people are going to call you out on it. Rachel technically was very nice to you, Suzy. Rachel was extremely nice to you, probably way too nice. A lot of people are being way nicer. That Kim Soul Plays guy was being nice. Amanda from Swell Entertainment was being nice to you. You block, and you're nasty, and you wonder why no one takes you seriously, and you play the victim? No! Stop it! Yeah, I had to rant a little bit about Suzy, so apologize about that, Rachel, but I just wanted to get that out there. But yeah, overall, I liked your video. I don't want you to think that I didn't like it just because of the length. Yes, the length was a bit of an issue that I had to overcome as an obstacle, but when you presented yourself as a voice actress and your resume and everything, I think that you're very well versed in the matter. So it's not like you just came into the situation and you're like, well, I don't know what I'm talking about. You're like, no, I know what I'm going to talk about. You did, though, again, dragged it a little bit. I think if you probably curtailed some of the talking points and you probably boiled it down more. Oh, also, another thing I wanted to say was that girl that you had I think it was the Curb Your Enthusiasm music over. I didn't think it was that bad. I could see how some people might misconstrue it as making fun of, like, haha, you're doing this and you're not supposed to. But I think she's getting the idea of what she is doing is not the right thing. I did address her politely, and I want to say that also in this video is that everyone that sees someone, whether it's Suzy or content creator or otherwise, they should be nice and just address the situation and say, I appreciate that you like anime, but what you're doing is illegal, and you seem like a really nice content creator, but I don't want to see your channel get shut down for copyright infringement, so please rethink what you're doing. And I think that was definitely the big takeaway. And also about your point that if people do copyright infringe and upload episodes of anime, it does take away from their investments. It takes away from the actors and actresses. It takes away from the writers. It takes away from just the company as a whole of everybody that works on the anime. is so important. The artist as well. And everyone is important in the creative process. And if they're not getting their paycheck, they need to put food on the table, just like you and me. And if you take someone's paycheck to pay yourself, that's not right. And that's definitely the biggest takeaway that I think Suzy needs to understand is, you know what, she doesn't want to work at McDonald's, that's fine. But if she wants to take anime, then she's going to have to learn to use a different uniform that's included with bars, which, you know, is not going to be a pleasant thing. So that's pretty much it on my video on the whole Rachel Messer talking about Suzy Lu. So I just wanted to say that. And also, Rachel, thank you again for talking about the situation. I think it was really important and brave of you to do. And I hope you take my criticism. And I know that your next video that you go up and you put up will be shorter. And I appreciate that you took the feedback. And also, the jump cuts weren't that bad. But you get the idea. Like, just cut down your length. Talk, like, very brief points. And just get what you need to get said done. And try not to drag on too much. And, you know, the audio jump was like one audio issue. I don't think that was that bad. So that's pretty much it. I liked everything that you did. I shouldn't, even myself, I shouldn't drag on in this video. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely check out Rachel's video. It's in the links below. And I'll see you guys later.